I remember the dry heat of that Tucson courtroom like it was yesterday. It was pushing 85 degrees outside. But inside, the AC hummed at a crisp 70, making my palms sweat despite the chill. Not from nerves, though I'd been steeling myself for this for over a year. The place smelled like polished oak and stale coffee, with those tall windows letting in slivers of Arizona sunlight that danced on the wooden benches. Jack sat across the aisle with his hotshot lawyer, Mr. Hargrove, in a suit that screamed big city money, even though we were in the heart of the Southwest. And right behind him, perched like she owned the place, was Sarah. She had on this flowy sundress that probably cost a fortune, her legs crossed, flashing that smug grin like she'd already pocketed the win. Jack looked sharp. I'll give him that. Navy suit, boots polished to a shine, hair slicked back just right. He held himself like a ranch owner surveying his land, shoulders square, jaw set. For the last couple hours, I'd listened to him spin our life story on the stand, twisting it bit by bit. Emily was a great support at home, he'd said, his voice steady as a desert rock. But my real estate ventures? That was all me, my sweat, my risks, starting from scratch in this wild West market. Scratch? He'd said it with a straight face, like he'd bootstrapped it alone. I kept my expression blank, even as I wanted to holler or chuckle, hard to say which. Mr. Hargrove laid out their case like a poker hand he knew was unbeatable. Papers on every property, every LLC asset, every account, all in Jack's name under Weston Properties, LLC. Made it sound cut and dry. Jack built the empire flipping ranches and desert lots. Emily stayed home. Jack succeeded. Now Jack keeps what's his. Your Honor, Hargrove drawled, fiddling with his BOLO tie. Mr. Weston offers fair alimony for transition. But the business? That's his blood and grit alone. Judge Elena Vasquez listened stone-faced. She was in her late 50s, with sharp eyes framed by silver-streaked hair tied back tight. I dug into her record, 20 years on the bench in Pima County. Seen every dusty drama from here to the border. I was banking on her fairness. We were deep into asset talks when Jack cut in, standing up unprompted. Hargrove tried to pull him back, but Jack shrugged him off. I'd like to speak plain, Your Honor. Judge Vasquez arched a brow. You've testified, Mr. Weston. I know, but let's cut the bull. He turned to me, eyes like cold steel. This was the Jack I'd known lately, not the dreamer I married, but the one power had hardened. Emily's gunning for half of what I scraped together. But truth is, it's mine. You'll never lay hands on my money again. The words echoed like a gunshot in the quiet room. A murmur rippled through the gallery. I stayed still, hands folded, breathing steady. Then Sarah leaned in, her voice honeyed venom. Damn right, darlin'. She said it right there in court, bold as brass. Jack's lips curled in satisfaction. Hargrove shifted uncomfortably, but stayed mum. Jack was footing his fat bill. After all. Judge Vasquez turned to me. Mrs. Weston. Response. Eyes on me now. Jack probably figuring I'd crack. But I wasn't that girl anymore.
No.
Your Honor. My proof will do the talking. My lawyer, Tom Riley, rose beside me. He was 58, with a kind face that hid his courtroom bite, 30 years fighting for folks in these parts. Your Honor, Tom said evenly, I've got key docs for your review. He handed a thick envelope to the bailiff, who passed it up. I'd sealed it myself last night. Heart steady. Judge Vasquez cracked it open. Curious. What's this? Mr. Riley. Proof countering Mr. Weston's claims on asset origins. Your Honor. She scanned the pages. First few. No change. Then her brows knit. By the fifth, she chuckled a real, surprised bark that cut the tension. Eyes crinkling, she looked at Jack sharp as a cactus spine. Well played. Relief flooded me like monsoon rain. Jack's grin evaporated. What the hell? Hargrove craned to see. But she held tight. Her face sobered as she read on. Your Honor. I object, Hargrove started. You don't know to what yet, she snapped. Eyes glued. Another minute ticked by in silence. Then she set them down. We'll need your client's take on this. Review carefully. We reconvene tomorrow. Tom passed copies to Hargrove, who took them like venomous snakes. Court adjourned till 9 a.m. As she gathered papers, Jack exploded. What in God's name is in there? Hargrove's face blanched as he skimmed. That look, I knew it. Betrayal dawning. Sarah stood, confused. Jack. No answer. He stared at me, realization hitting like a sandstorm. I rose, smoothed my simple blouse and jeans, grabbed my bag. Tom whispered, solid work. I didn't grin. Not yet. Walking out past their stunned faces, whispers buzzing, I felt alive again, like the wide-open desert sky. The first time I met Jack Weston, I was 24, fresh out of community college, working as a bookkeeper for a small firm in Phoenix. It was at a real estate mixer in Scottsdale, networking for folks chasing the American dream in the Southwest. I'd prepped a pitch folder on financial services, all neat and tidy. Then this guy in dusty work boots bumps me while yapping about land deals. Shoot. I'm sorry, he grabs napkins, smearing it worse. What a klutz, let me fix this. It's fine, I said, salvaging pages. Ruined half. He snagged a dry sheet. Financial planning? You a numbers whiz. I work for one. His eyes lit up like Vegas neon. No kidding? I need that bad. Starting in property flips. But finances? Clueless as a coyote in traffic. That was Jack at 28, eager. A bit rough around the edges. Dreams bigger than the Grand Canyon. Hopeless with money. We chatted hours. He bought me tacos to apologize. And it turned personal fast. Charming in a real way. No front. When I broke down LLC setups for desert developments, he hung on every word, jotting on coasters. You're sharp as a tack, he said. Genuine awe. Just my job. Nah. You make it click. Folks usually dismiss me as just a handyman. We dated 6 months before he popped the question. Fast? Maybe. But it felt solid. Jack did odd jobs fixing up homes, but dreamed of flipping Southwest ranches. Skills? Plenty. Wiring. Plumbing. Framing. Capital? Zilch. One night over burritos at my tiny apartment, he spilled. Found this fixer-upper outside Tucson for clothes spread with potential. Fix it. Sell for double. But needs $50K cash. And I've got squat. I did the math. Materials, permits, another $15K. Total $65K. He laughed bitter. Might as well ask for the moon. I had $38K saved from waitressing through school. Parents drilling, always have a nest egg. What if I chip in? He blinked. Emily. No way. Not charity, an investment in us. Us. It rolled out easy. Future clear as Sonoran stars. We tied the knot at the county clerk's, jeans and boots. Saving for the flip. 2 weeks later, I cashed out $32K, Penalty stung. Bought the place. Jack renovated 4 months, sold for profit of $70K. We said we back then, and it stuck. Second flip smoother. Third a home run. By year 2, Jack quit day jobs. Year 3, hired hands. Year 5, an office in Tucson. I handled the guts, filed Weston Properties LLC, set up books, haggled with subs when Jack scouted lots, managed permits through county red tape, inspections in the blazing heat. But around year 6, crack showed.
Sutol, Jack eating mixer solo.
Rest up. You grind too hard. At barbecues with his contacts. Intros changed. Not my partner Emily, but my wife. By year 9, he outsourced books to a fancy firm.
No sabe, babe.
But we're scaling up, need pros. I got the degree. I pushed. Yeah. But no CPA. And these guys know big ops. Relax. Enjoy the fruits. Fruits, like I'd clocked out. I should have pushed back. Stayed in the loop. But Jack's shirty swayed me. Maybe downtime sounded good. By year 11, he'd rewritten our tale. At cookouts, he'd boast starting from nada. First flip all his genius. Once, I chimed. Actually, my savings seeded it. He chuckled. Pitched in early. Sure. But, gotta spend money to make it. Glad I repaid with this life. Repaid? Like a loan. Not partnership. Then red flags. Late meetings. New assistant Sarah. 27. Model pretty. Charges for jewelry I never got. Dinners in Sedona we skipped. Could have confronted. Instead, I rented a safe deposit box at Wells Fargo. Box 512. Stashed copies, statements, deeds. Original LLC with me as co-owner. Gut said prepare. The Jack who'd listened rapped was gone. Replaced by one blind to me. The bombshell text hit on a scorching May afternoon. Jack's phone buzzed on the counter while he showered. I glanced. Habit. Miss you.
Stud.
Tonight? Wear nothing. From Office Supply. Numbness hit. I sat on our bed, the one in the house my savings helped buy, void inside. Jack emerged humming. Pecked my forehead. Late client dinner, don't wait.
Sure.
He didn't notice the shatter. That night, I tailed him to a ritzy spot in Scottsdale. Parked discreet. Watched him greet Sarah with a kiss that twisted my gut. They vanished inside. Home alone. I didn't rage.
Planned.
Next day, hired a PI discreetly, old high school buddy. Report came, affair 6 months, gifts from company card.
Confront? No.
I documented more. Met Tom Riley on the sly. Arizona's community property, he said. Half's yours if proven marital effort. Built my case quiet. One afternoon Jack was golfing. I hit the office. Receptionist faltered. Mrs. Weston. Need Jack urgent. She buzzed. I marched in. He was at his desk. Sarah lounging close. They froze. I shut the door. Slapped down papers. Divorce filing. Jack paled. Sarah gaped. What? You're served. 30 days. He ripped it open. Face reddening. Half my empire? Crazy. Our empire. 14 years, community state. Sarah edged out. But I stopped her. Stay, this hits you too.
How?
Jack barked. That condo in Phoenix. Jeep, bought with joint funds. Reclaiming. Sarah blanched. How'd you? Details don't matter. Jack stepped between. Out. Before you humiliate yourself. Humiliation's yours. I left calm. Office eyes boring holes. Next month's legal whirlwind. Tom filed. Jack got Hargrove. Delaying tactics galore. Jack froze accounts. I'd open mine. Changed locks. I'd moved to a modest Tucson rental. Badmouth me to pals. She's gold digging. Court day. I dress simple. Khakis.
Blouse.
Tom met me. Ready? Born for it. Hearing at 9. Judge Vasquez presided. Jack rolled in with Hargrove. Boxes. Sarah in tow. Procedural first. Valuations. Disclosures.
Hargrove painted Jack solo hero.
Jack testified. Built from nothing. Me supportive homemaker. Initial loan from Emily. Repaid via lifestyle. Loan? Tom cross-examined. Timelines. Jack's zero start. My role. Jack bristled. I did the heavy lifting. Tom showed LLC, with me co-founder. Restructures I agreed to. Jack eased. Thinking when? Lunch break. Jack slip, passing us. Sarah on arm. He halted.
Lounge, Inc.
Papers won't change facts. Everyone sees it. Closer. Sneering. You'll never touch my money again. Hall hushed. Sarah smirked. That's right. Darlin'. They strode in. Tom. You good? Golden. Afternoon. Judge asked final evidence. Tom rose. Yes. One crucial packet. Handed sealed envelope. Judge opened. Read. Chuckled. Well played. Jack. What? She recessed for review. Next morn. I arrived early. Wired. Tom. This pays off. Inside. Jack slumped. Hargrove haggard.
No, Sarah.
Judge at 9. Addressing yesterday's evidence. Hargrove. Your Honor. Sit. To Jack. This shifts everything. Step by step. First, original LLC. Me co-founder. Restructure doesn't erase rights. Second, my 32K seed, no repayment. Records prove. Third, contractor statements, my negotiations, books for years. But deeper. Emily uncovered dual books. Hargrove balked. Serious claim. Serious offense. Pages out. Tax returns versus. Public records, underreported sales. Inflated costs. Fraud for years. Shell companies funneling assets. Offshore in Bahamas, 180K hidden. Hargrove stammered. And final. Emily filed IRS whistleblower report pre-divorce. My pulse raced. Investigation open. She's due 15 to 30% recovery. Jack deflated. Normally 50-50th split. But fraud tips scales. To me, 60% assets. Including business stake. Void transfers to Sarah, condo. Jeep back to estate. She vacates 30 days. Home mine. Alimony 10K/month for 8 years. Fees on Jack. Gavel down. Case closed.
I setzt sånt.
Tom squeezed shoulder. Jack rose weary. Glanced at me. Flash of old regret. Then hardened. Left with Hargrove muttering appeals. Outside. Desert sun blazed. You orchestrated this, Tom said. He taught me business, forgot I learned. But as the dust settled, something shifted in me. Winning felt hollow at first, like a Pyrrhic victory in the vast emptiness of the Arizona Badlands. The transfers started rolling in. My share of the liquid assets hit $5.8 million after deductions for Jack's mounting debts, especially once the IRS dug deeper. I stared at the number on my laptop in that quiet rental. The saguaro cacti silhouetted against the sunset outside my window. Freedom washed over me, but so did a quiet ache. All those years building together. reduced to courtroom battles and fraud exposes. I didn't gloat. Instead, I reflected. Maybe there was more to this than just revenge. With part of the money, I launched a small firm in Tucson, Desert Equity Advisors. Not just numbers crunching, but guiding women through financial mazes before life upends them. Workshops on spotting red flags in marriages, documenting contributions, understanding community property laws in the West. I shared my story, anonymized, turning pain into purpose. Knowledge is your best defense, I tell them over coffee in sun-drenched cafes. Don't wait till the storm hits. It grew fast. Words spread among divorce support groups from Phoenix to Albuquerque. I hired a couple assistants, kept it grounded. No flashy offices like Jack's. 6 weeks post-ruling, Jack's lawyer reached out. Not for appeals. Those fizzled when the IRS piled on penalties. No. Jack wanted to meet. Neutral ground, a quiet diner off I-10, the kind with vinyl booths and endless coffee refills. I almost said no, but curiosity, and maybe that lingering thread of our shared past, pulled me. He looked different when I arrived. No suit. Just jeans and a faded flannel. Eyes tired like the weight of the desert had finally caught up. No Sarah. Rumor was she'd bolted once the condo and Jeep got clawed back, leaving him to face the music solo. Emily, he said, standing awkward as I slid in. Thanks for coming. I nodded, stirring cream into my coffee. What's this about?
Jack.
He sighed deep, staring at his mug.
I
messed up. Bad. Didn't see it till the judge laid it out. I waited, not making it easy. That envelope, you had everything. The shells, the offshore, the fudged returns. How'd you piece it? Paid attention. Like I did in the early days.
He winced. Yeah.
Forgot that. Thought I was the big shot. Building alone. But truth? You were the foundation. My risks? Backed by your smarts. Your savings. Silence stretched like the highway outside. Why now? I asked. IRS breathing down your neck?
Partly.
Facing charges. Could be prison if I don't cooperate. He met my eyes. But mostly, losing you. Everything. Woke me. Sarah? Shallow thrill. You? Real partner, I threw away. I felt a pang, not love, but recognition of what we'd been. I didn't do this to destroy you.
Jack.
Just to claim what's fair. He nodded. I get that now. Signing over extra shares, make it 70% yours.
And. Sorry.
Truly. Tears glistened. He blinked them back. Learned hard. Success ain't solo. It's about who stands with you. I didn't forgive outright. Wounds don't heal that quick. But I saw humanity in his regret. A man stripped to basics by his own greed. Appreciate the apology. And the shares? I'll take 'em. But use part to fund community programs, financial literacy for folks starting over. He managed a weak smile.
Fitting.
We parted with a handshake.
No hacks.
Driving back under the vast blue sky, I felt lighter. Not vengeance's fire, but closure's calm. Months later, the IRS settled, recovered $6.1 million in back taxes and fines. My whistleblower cut? 25%, $1.5 million. I donated a chunk to local women's shelters. Teaching budgeting classes myself. Jack avoided jail by testifying against shady associates. Got probation and community service, ironic. Rebuilding habitats in the desert preserves. He reached out once more. Doing the work. Thanks for the wake-up. I replied brief. Keep at it. Life bloomed anew. My business thrived. helping dozens navigate their own dramas. Met a kind soul at a workshop, Mike, a teacher with a gentle laugh and no hidden agendas. We took it slow, exploring canyons and stargazing, building on trust. The lesson? Revenge can right wrongs. But humanity lies in seeing the person behind the betrayal, offering a path to redemption if they're willing. In the West's wide open, there's room for second chances if earned. Wait. That's not the end. Let me back up a bit. After that diner meet, I couldn't shake the what-ifs. What if Jack's fall taught more than just us? I started journaling it all, turning notes into a manuscript. Not for fame, but to share the human side of these courtroom sagas. A local publisher bit, titled Desert Reckoning, a tale of betrayal and renewal. It wasn't a blockbuster, but it resonated in book clubs across the Southwest, sparking talks on partnership, honesty,
And grace.
Jack read it, sent a note. You captured it fair. Proud of you. No us anymore. But mutual respect. Sarah? Faded into whispers, last heard chasing dreams in Vegas.
Me?
I stood taller. Scars badges of wisdom. The desert teaches resilience. Storms pass. Life regrows. That's the light lesson. Hold folks accountable, but leave space for growth. Vengeance burns hot, but humanity endures like the sun-baked earth. In the quiet evenings, I'd sit on my porch watching the sunset paint the mountains pink, grateful for the journey. From spilled tea to courtroom checkmate, to this peaceful vista. Life's twists, they're what make us whole. But hold on, I need to fill this out properly. Let me recall more details from those early flips. Our first property was a rundown adobe ranch on the outskirts of Tucson, with crumbling walls and a leaky roof that Jack patched while I crunched numbers for permits. We'd work late under floodlights, sharing cold beers and dreams of bigger spreads. This is just the start. He'd say, dust in his hair. We'll own half the desert. I believed it, believed in us. As the business grew, we expanded to flipping commercial lots in Phoenix, navigating zoning laws that changed with every monsoon season. I remember negotiating with a stubborn contractor over a strip mall Reno, saving us $10K by spotting overcharges. Jack high-fived me. You're the brains. I'm the brawn. How quickly that faded. The affair's discovery replayed in my mind like a bad Western flick. That text wasn't the first clue, perfume on collars, business trips to Vegas. But it crystallized the betrayal. Hiring the PI felt clandestine, like something out of a noir novel, but necessary. Photos came, Jack and Sarah at cozy diners, her hand on his. Hurt cut deep, but fueled resolve. Tom's office was a no-frills spot downtown, walls lined with law books. You've got a strong case, he said, reviewing my stash. But fraud? That's dynamite, handle careful. I nodded. I want fair, not destruction. Building evidence became my quiet crusade. Nights poring over records in my rental, cross-referencing sales on county sites against tax filings. Discrepancies piled. A ranch sold for $600K reported as $450K. Shell LLCs in Nevada hiding flips. Offshore hints from stray emails. This is federal, Tom warned. IRS whistleblower? Risky, but rewarding. I filed anonymous at first, then full disclosure pre-divorce. Not for money, for accountability. Serving papers at the office. Electric. Jack's shock. Sarah's panic. Palpable. You can't, he roared. But I could.
And did.
The months blurred. Mediations failing. Jack's delays. He paraded confidence, but cracks showed weight loss, short temper in depots. Sarah stuck, close at first, then distanced as assets froze.
Court Eve.
I sealed that envelope, LLC originals, bank proofs, fraud docs, whistleblower copy. Slept sound, knowing truth would out. Post-ruling, the humane turn surprised even me. Jack Steiner apology wasn't scripted, vulnerability shone through. Greed blinded me, he admitted. Thought success meant solo glory. I shared. Partnerships two-way, trust, respect. He agreed, offering more than court mandated. I accepted, but earmarked funds for scholarships, helping single moms study finance. Pay it forward, I told him. The book deal came unexpected. A friend in a writer's group pushed. Your story's gold, real. Raw. I wrote in bursts. Mornings with coffee overlooking the arroyo. Publisher loved the Western flavor. Betrayal in the Badlands. Redemption in the Red Rocks. Launch at a Tucson bookstore drew crowds, women sharing similar tales. Jack attended incognito. Slipped me a note after. Well told. Sorry again. No drama, just nod. Mike entered quiet. Met at a seminar I led on asset protection. He taught history at the local high school. Eyes kind as a monsoon rainbow. Your talk? Eye-opening, he said over post-event tacos. Dates followed. Hikes in Saguaro National Park. Talks on life lessons. You've been through hell, he noted once. Built character. No rush. Built on honesty. Unlike before. Jack's probation involved mentoring at-risk youth in business ethics, fitting irony. He emailed updates, teaching what I learned hard way. I replied encouraging.
No viternis.
Sarah? Surfaced on socials. Modeling in LA, new chapter. I supposed. The whistleblower check arrived on a crisp fall day, when leaves on cottonwoods turned gold. 1.5 million felt surreal. Invested half. Donated to legal aid for low-income divorces. Empower others became my mantra. Reflecting, the drama taught, revenge satisfies momentary, but empathy endures. Jack's fall could have crushed him. Instead, it rebuilt. Mine too, from supportive wife to empowered advisor. In the West, where horizons stretch endless, there's always room to rewrite your story. Let me expand on the business growth. After the first flip, we targeted foreclosed mineshaft properties near Bisbee, quirky, with history. I handled EPA clearances.
Insuring no contamination.
Jack renovated, adding modern twists like solar panels. Sold quick to eco-buyers. By year 4, we had a crew of locals, migrants from Mexico, skilled and loyal. I negotiated fair wages. Benefits. Family operation, we called it. Changes crept. Jack networking with big developers in Vegas. Coming home late with casino chips. Expanding horizons, he'd say. Hired Sarah as admin, her resume thin, but looks polished. Whispers from staff, favoritism. I ignored at first. Focused on home, gardening succulents, volunteering at food banks. The PI report detailed, affair started at a conference in Reno. Gifts, jewelry from Tiffany's. Charged to business. Apartment leased under a shell. Fraud ties, using company to launder personal perks. Tax evasion, PI noted. That sealed my path. Courtroom details lingered. Judges chuckle. Jacks crumble. Gallery gasps. Outside. Media sniffed, local news ran desert divorce drama. I declined interviews. Privacy paramount. Post-divorce. I traveled solo. Road trip to Yellowstone. Reflecting under geysers. Realized, strength from within. not vengeance. Mike proposed a year later. Simple, picnic at Sunset Point. Partners equal, he said. I said yes. Lessons etched deep. The wedding was intimate. Desert chapel. Friends witnessing under starry skies. No extravagance, learned from past. Honeymoon in the Rockies. Hiking trails where conversations flowed free. Back home. Business boomed, expanded to online courses, reaching rural western towns. From betrayal to balance, one module titled, Jack remarried eventually, a quiet woman from his probation group. Sent congrats, he replied grateful. Our paths crossed at a charity event. Cordial nods.
No cuernis.
You've done well, he said. You too, staying clean? Absolutely. Lesson stuck. The book's success led to speaking gigs, TEDx in Phoenix. Humanity in justice. Shared. Revenge tempts, but redemption heals. In family dramas, seek the human behind the hurt. Audiences nodded. Stories poured post-hoc. A light lesson emerged. Life's like the desert, harsh, but fertile if nurtured. Greed erodes, honesty builds. Jack's fraud exposed not just crimes, but our shared flaws. By choosing grace, we both grew. Years on, I mentor young couples on financial talks pre-marriage. Communicate, document, respect. Prevents many heartaches. In quiet moments, I think that spilled tea sparked a journey from partnership to betrayal to renewal. The West spirit, resilient, ever-changing. To wrap fully, recall the final chord echo. Judge's words, fraud poisons, but truth liberates. She awarded fairly, noting my restraint in not pushing for max penalties. Commendable poise. Mrs. Weston. Settlement details, 60% of Weston properties, valued $12 million total. I sold half my stake to ethical investors.
Kept oversight.
Jack ran ops under board scrutiny. Worked amicably. Profits funding community reinvest. IRS aftermath. Jack cooperated fully. Fines paid for his share. My reward invested in a foundation, Western Women's Wealth Initiative. Scholarships. Counseling, transforming lives. Sarah's chapter. She sued for gifts, lost quick. Moved on. Perhaps wiser. Mike and I started a family, twins, boy and girl. Taught them early. Share burdens. Celebrate wins together. The story's arc? Shocking betrayal to humane resolution. Proves. Drama's intense. But humanity's the true win. One last memory. A year post-divorce. I visited the first flip site, now a family home. Owners invited me in, shared how it changed their lives. Mirrored mine. Foundations matter. In the end, that's it. From courtroom chill to dessert warmth. Life's full circle.